After an enthralling Europa League group stage, we have the runners-up of the group stage go up against the third place of the Champions League. Fascinating matchups, and a European heavyweight clash is in store for all of us to see. But as always with these prediction videos, give your predictions of the Europa League knockout playoff round in the comments down below. Further ado, let's get to the first matchup. And oh boy, what a matchup to start off with the predictions video. It is the European heavyweight clash between Barcelona and Manchester United. Most people would say this should be a round of 16 matchup in the Champions League based on the form of both teams. Both teams are great. Both teams are playing at a high level, and both teams have skill in almost every position at the moment. This is going to be the longest part of the video when it comes to matchups because there's so much to discuss with this game. Lewandowski against Lisandro Martinez Varane, fantastic. Casemiro against Pedri, you kidding me? Rashford against Koundé or Araujo, whoever plays the right back. This is going to be amazing to watch. Then we have Xavi who has been fantastic in the La Liga. Has he been suspect in the European competition since being hired as Barcelona manager? Of course. And he's going up against Erik ten Hag. This is a great matchup for Xavi to test themselves against the elite managers in Europe because, let's face it, in La Liga, great. You're doing fantastic. You got an 8-point lead in La Liga. You're going to win the La Liga title, looks like. In Europe, it hasn't gone well. Look at Frankfurt, look at Inter, look at Bayern. So this is a test for Xavi and Barcelona. And Barcelona's defense at the moment is high level. They've only conceded, what, 7 goals this season in La Liga? Are you crazy? The pairing of Araujo and Christensen with Koundé and then whoever plays the left back, whether it's Balde and Jordi Alba, great. And Ter Stegen, you could argue he is the best goalkeeper in the world right now. But Manchester United, look at Rashford. Unbelievable season from Marcus Rashford. Ten Hag has unleashed that goal-scoring ability in Marcus Rashford again, mixed in with Casemiro, Bruno, like I talked about, Lisandro, Varane. This is going to be a great game. Honestly, this is 50-50 because the first leg being in Barcelona, I think if United can get a draw, perfect. They have been unbelievable at Old Trafford this season, except for the first game against Brighton. Ever since then, I think they've won every game. So that just shows you how much of a fortress Ten Hag has built at Old Trafford. So Barcelona, they got to win that first leg. It is vital, and then we'll see at Old Trafford. When it comes to a prediction, this is like, even though maybe both teams are not really fully focused in the Europa League, they will want to prove themselves against top teams in Europe. And this is where it begins right now and build a foundation for many seasons to come. So my prediction, I'm going to go with Barcelona. I think Barcelona just have a bit more attacking prowess than them. I look at Rafinha playing better. I look at Lewandowski. Lewandowski's got to step up in big games, as we know. And just, I think the midfield with Pedri, Gavi, and whoever plays at CDM, whether it's Kessie or Frenkie de Jong, I think they can do well against Casemiro, Bruno. And I think that's where they're going to win the battle. This is going to be close, but I'm going to slightly go with Barcelona. The next matchup, it is Juventus taking on Nantes. As we know, Juventus, they're going through a rough patch at the moment. They are. I mean, they just picked up a 3-0 win over Salernitana, but just so much stuff in the background. Still a lot of injuries. We just don't know what Allegri is going to show up. But Juventus have shown positive signs in 2023, but then, losing at home to Monza, you just don't know what Juventus is going to show up, honestly. And that's the biggest key. What is the best formation? How does Allegri get the best out of these players? But now, if they want Champions League football next season, whether there's going to be further punishment towards them with all the allegations, who knows? They have to win the Europa League. So they have to go strong in every game. As for Nantes, we know they're a very good defensive side, but have struggled to score goals. But they have added Andy Delort from Nice this winter transfer window, so to help them with the goal scoring, alongside, Simon, Blas, and Mohamed. So Nantes have got some pieces, but in all honesty, it should be a Juventus win, but as we have seen, Maccabi Haifa beat Juventus, Benfica beat them twice, Monza beat them twice. You just don't know with Juventus at the moment. So Nantes can definitely cause an upset here, but I'm going to go with Juventus to advance. The third matchup, it is Sporting Club de Portugal taking on Midtjylland. Losing Pedro Porro is a big deal. Nonetheless, Ruben Amorim, I absolutely love this manager. I think he works amazing with the pieces he has. But when you have the midfield of Ugarte and Morita that complement each other, they have Marcus Edwards, Gonçalves. So Sporting have a good team, and Ruben Amorim just tactically knows how to get the best out of these players, and he's ready for every opponent. Midtjylland, yes, we have seen that they have a lot of changes during the winter transfer window, as we know. Losing Evander, will be felt, and Dreyer. So Midtjylland now got to look into Isaacson, who was fantastic in the group stage of the Europa League, to continue the good form. I feel like this is going to be a Sporting win, but you just don't know with Midtjylland. They've had a long winter break. They haven't had a lot of competitive games. They've only had a couple of friendlies. So I'm going to go slightly with Sporting to win this matchup. The fourth matchup, it is Shakhtar Donetsk taking on Rennes. As we know, Mudryk is gone from Shakhtar. And I mean, when you lose a guy like Mudryk, who's so pivotal to how well Shakhtar did in the Champions League group stage, they're going to feel it. The team, yes, of course, there's the likes of Zubkov and Traore, but they have to step up. And Stepanenko in the midfield has to control. But Shakhtar, they were not so much heavily reliant on Mudryk, but he was just that difference maker for them in the group stage. And they're going up against Rennes. And replacing Sulemana, who of course went to Southampton, with Toko Kambi, it's a good addition. Toko Kambi has shown in parts that he is a very good player. But with Amin Gouari in fine form, Rennes should be the favorites in this game. Rennes show ability in one game and then kind of play down to their opponent, and then they just... Rennes are a very interesting team that there is potential, and it's a very young squad, and especially now in the Europa League, I think they're going to fully focus on this, and I'm going to go with the Rennes win. The fifth matchup, it is Ajax taking on Union Berlin. As I've discussed many times on this channel and on my Twitter page, remember to go follow me on Twitter, Alfred Schroeder finally got sacked. And Johnny Heitinga is going to be the interim manager for the rest of the season. And we're starting to see the signs that maybe Alfred Schroeder was really the biggest problem, as we all knew. Ever since his sacking, they have won 4-1 and 5-0. It just shows you put the players in the right position, you'll see the good Ajax. So look at the likes of Tadic playing in the right position, Kudus. You get the best out of these players. So that's the thing. Johnny Heitinga has just, maybe tactically hasn't changed a lot, but Ajax are looking like them old selves, and they have to look like their old selves against Union Berlin. I mean, what can we say about Union Berlin? This is just an amazing story. They're undefeated. They have won every game in 2023, and they keep on adding great players into the mix. Juranovic was a great pickup. Laiduni brings competitiveness to this squad. Union Berlin are just playing with such confidence. Maybe are they focused on Bundesliga and getting that top 4 finish? Possibly, but if they could beat Ajax, who knows with Union Berlin? This is a fantastic story, like I talked about. You got Becker, Roussillon, who you picked up as well, Khedira running the midfield. There's so many pieces with this Union Berlin side. We know their kind of game. They don't want to keep a lot of possession. They're fine with it. Ajax, you keep the possession, we'll hit you on the counterattack, we'll be great on set pieces. The set piece power that Union Berlin possesses is second to none. So I'm going to slightly go with Union Berlin in this matchup, but should be a great battle of contrasting styles. The sixth matchup, it is Bayer Leverkusen taking on Monaco. Hasn't been a great start to 2023 for Xabi Alonso's side. Picked up 2 wins in a row, picking up 2 losses in a row. I just think, Xabi Alonso, he's still very young in his managerial career. He's going to hit these rough patches, and it's just about overcoming it. And with no Patrick Schick, I mean, Hlosek is trying his best as the striker, but it just hasn't been working out. Florian Wirtz is back from injury, so we need to see the likes of Diaby step up. Frimpong, who was great in 2022, step up for Bayer Leverkusen against Monaco. Whereas in 2023, Monaco are undefeated. They just recently scored 7 goals. So this is a high-scoring team. You got still the likes of Ben Yedder. This guy keeps on doing it. The emergence of Ben Seguir. In the midfield, you have Fofana and Kamara, Golovin, Martin. So there's a lot of good pieces when it comes to Felipe Clement's side at Monaco. This is going to be a tough one to call because Bayer Leverkusen, they really got to pick up their form in the Bundesliga if they want any European spots. Monaco are still fighting for that Champions League spot in Ligue 1. And right now, based on the form, I'm going to go with Monaco winning this game. I just think they have a lot more attacking prowess, a lot more pieces. Bayer Leverkusen are trying to find themselves on what playing style Xabi Alonso wants to do, so Monaco to advance. The seventh matchup, it is Sevilla taking on PSV Eindhoven. Sevilla are having a torrid season. Fighting for relegation battle? Sevilla? Well, this is the Europa League, and they are the Europa League kings. But their manager is Jorge Sampaoli. If you have followed the channel, I'm not a fan of this manager whatsoever. I think he's highly overrated, and this is the problem with Sevilla right now. Defensively, they're not the greatest. Attacking wise, they just simply cannot score goals unless they play against Elche. So En-Nesyri's got to step up somehow. Then I look at the likes of Torres, Jordan. This is a very confusing season for Sevilla. What sort of playing style are they going to do with Jorge Sampaoli? Who's going to get them goals? Who can defend? It's been a torrid season, and if I'm Sevilla, I just say, you know what, we're the Europa League kings, but we gotta throw it away. We have to survive in La Liga. Can you imagine if Sevilla get relegated? That would be a huge embarrassment. As for PSV, they sold Gakpo and Madueke during the winter transfer window, so they're a little bit damaged by that, and they have to start another rebuild, which is a shame for Ruud van Nistelrooy, and they're having a great season in my opinion, even though they've lost these two players. Now you have to look at the likes of El Ghazi, De Jong, Xavi Simons, Sangare. There's still a lot of good pieces when it comes to this PSV side. And Ruud van Nistelrooy is proving that he is a very good manager. And now he has to kind of rebuild this side. Who's going to get them the goals? Who's going to create? With the way Sevilla are going and PSV still playing well under Ruud van Nistelrooy, I'm going to have PSV advance to the round of 16. The final matchup, it is RB Salzburg taking on AS Roma. RB Salzburg, of course, coming off the winter break in Austria. So they haven't had a lot of games to prepare for this Europa League game. But we know RB Salzburg. Very young side with dangerous weapons like Benjamin Šeško, Okafor, Sucic, Pavlovic. RB Salzburg, they know how they want to play. They want to play a high pressing style, intense, and they're going to take the game to AS Roma. I can see that RB Salzburg will be the team with more possession, and they're going to be like, hey, AS Roma, try and counter-attack us. Because we've seen Pavlovic is a very good center back. As for AS Roma, look, Josie's doing his thing right now. They're not playing the greatest. They're not playing the most sexiest football. They're getting results. They're in the top 4 right now in Serie A, which would be a good achievement. And Dybala, when he is healthy, is just amazing for this side. Simply is next to Tammy Abraham. They just got to be good defensively. We got to see Pellegrini step up as well because he's had a bit of an underperforming season compared to last year. I always ride with Jose in European competitions. He knows how to get the job done. Look at what he did last season in the Conference League. You can say his lesser opponents. RB Salzburg will put up a good fight, but AS Roma to advance to the round of 16. So there you have it, people. The knockout playoff round of the Europa League predictions. Should be a great matchups. And of course, we will be having match reactions to the games on Thursday, especially after Manchester United and Barcelona, because it is the early kickoff. So if you want to join me for those match reactions, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and put those notification bells so you know when I go live. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And until next time, adios.